Hey everybody, in the VC, it's Matt, and I thought I would check in with the Record Store Day video, which if you're wanting to watch a video of a big, huge Record Store Day haul, I would suggest you turn the video off right now because I made a whopping single purchase on this particular RSD. So to keep you in anticipation, we'll get right to what I bought. Odds and Sods by The Who, which was originally a single album when it was released back in, should have looked that up, but it was released 1974, 73, somewhere around there. It's been expanded to a double album for the Record Store Day release. The album is, I used to have this way back when, and somewhere along the line I lost it, which is why I went ahead and bought it today, because I haven't had it in years. It's a pretty fun little album. It's some of the 45s that were never on an album up to that point, and then some songs that had just not been released that the band had recorded, mostly in the 60s and I think some of them in the early 70s. And so you get it's kind of that 60s era Who of 66 to 67 sort of era of Who, and a little bit of the early 70s feel to it. It always was a fun little album, I thought, back when I had it, so it's nice to get a replacement copy of it. My disappointment, I guess, is that I wish there's still quite a few of the singles and stray tracks that have been released on various other albums, so that are kind of hard to get, and I wish they would just do a Who album. Wish they would have made this a triple album, I guess, and just taken all the like the single Dogs Part 2 is here, which was the flip side of Pinball Wizard, but the song Dogs, the single that came out in 1968, is unfortunately not here, and that's one of my favorite fun little Who songs. So, but there's plenty of good stuff on here. Postcard, Now I'm a Farmer, fun stuff. Glow Girl's alright. Long Live Rock, which was on the closing credits of the great Kids Are Alright documentary on The Who in 1979. Heaven and Hell, good John Entwistle song. Wasp Man was kind of fun. Dogs Part 2, of course, which is just a great, I like it more than Pinball Wizard, to be honest with you. It's just a great driving instrumental rock and roll track with, I think it's Keith and Pete barking like dogs here and there throughout the song. Fun stuff. And then I'm the Face was their original, when they were the High Numbers, their first 45 before they did Can't Explain as the first 245, but they don't have the flip side of that on here, I don't think. But anyway, it's my favorite period of the Who is 60s Who. I think they were never as good past 67, 68, even though there were a lot of good songs after that. But this sort of captures that era and that early 70s 45s that they put out, and I think that The Seeker is one of my favorite Who songs, and I think that was a 45 around 70, 71 or so. So fun deal. Like I said, it was a single album originally. This is kind of like an Obi strip that just fits on there, so obviously I'm going to have to store this in a plastic bag to keep that not, or put it somewhere else. The album is die cut with like the original album was. I don't know if you can see that. Opens up, there's a nice gatefold. There's the sticker that was on the album I just put on there. There's the back of the album, and if you want to freeze that, see the track listing if you're interested. And got your inner sleeves. There's the great Keith Moon, the soul of the band. There is some liner notes, which are fun, and I think I remember those being in the original album. This is the second disc, so it wouldn't have had this one, but that sort of tell what's what and what was the deal with those songs that were unreleased at that point. And here is the first album, which was the original album, and liner notes again, another good shot of the band. Odds and Sods, get the lyrics, which I don't remember if those were in the original album or not. I don't think they were. and it's just more lyrics. And this is a certificate, mastering certificate, that shows that the album was mastered at half speed. So there's all that. It's not numbered or anything, and it was, I don't remember how many copies are. I looked at the list. I want to say 5,000 copies or something were released. So that's what I got. And the reason I only got one thing, I was originally thinking I wasn't going to bother with Record Store Day today. For one thing, before all the COVID and stuff, when we thought we were going to have a normal year with Record Store Day in April and then another one for Black Friday in November, and the list came out back in January or February, I looked through it and I didn't see a whole lot of stuff that I really couldn't live without. And in fact, I really didn't see a whole lot of stuff that I was even that interested in. Then when everything went crazy with COVID and the April got canceled and pushed back, and now they've decided to do 3 record store days, I guess, over the next, this month of August, and then one in September and one in October. I've looked at the list. They put the list out again, an altered list for the things that were coming out in August about a month or so ago. And I looked through it, and some of the things just didn't. Some of the things I think have dropped off. I know a couple of bands that had Record Store Day releases planned just went ahead and said screw it and put the albums out there for sale online or in record stores instead of messing with Record Store Day this year. And so some of the stuff is altered, but I looked at the new list. There was kind of pared it down to 4 or 5 things that I was somewhat interested in. Nothing that I really, really wanted, but I guess this kind of topped the list of what I wanted, just because it's a good Who album, and one, like I said, I had when I was a kid, and it's been probably 20 years or more since I've had a copy of this, so it's nice to get another copy. Of course, I could have just gone through the used record store bins and found a copy of it for cheaper. This was $29, so that's not terribly overpriced, but it's good to have that again. But as I said, I thought I wasn't going to bother with it because, for one thing, just didn't feel like spending a lot of money. For another, the list didn't overly thrill me. The other thing is it's August in Fort Worth, and it's 106 degrees out there right now. It was 108 yesterday, and really didn't want to mess with that. I certainly didn't want to. I was, last night, I took my dog to the dog park after the sun went down, and I was out there at 9:20, 9:30 or so the sun had been down for a good, 45 minutes or so, and it was still 100 damn degrees. So I didn't want to get up like I've done in record store days past and go stand in line and socially distance, and it's still 90 degrees at 5 in the morning or whatever. So I certainly didn't want to do that, and I just thought, I'm probably not going to bother with it. But then I got hungry, and there's nothing here, so I was going to have to go to the grocer's anyway. And I thought, well, if I do that, I can just jump on the freeway, get to Forever Young Records in 10, 15 minutes. And by this time it was about noon today. Thought crowds should have run through the store already because they opened at 8 o'clock or whatever. And what the hell, I'll just go take a look and see what's there. And like I said, I had 4 or 5 things in mind that I thought if they're there, I'll consider, and I might get 2 or 3 or all of them. But by the time I got there, they had quite a bit of stock, but of the 4 things I wanted, 4 or 5, whatever things I wanted, this is the only thing they still had left. So I went ahead and grabbed that up. They did have the Live Pretenders album, which I looked at and considered, but I have no idea. I'm not a huge fan of live albums, and I think that was like $30 or whatever. I don't know what the quality of that is. It's some dodgy bootleg that the record company just pressed up or something, or maybe it's really good quality and I should have got it. But I considered it and decided not to. The other things I wanted, which they didn't have, I think it's the first Al Green album. I would have picked that up. And I looked online on the Facebook for Forever Young, and they had a list of the records they got in, and they had all 5 of the things I was considering, but I guess they had already sold them by the time I got there. So the Al Green album was gone. The other thing I was considering was the Dave Davies live at some club or concert hall in California, I think, from 1997. And actually, someone posted some YouTube videos of several of the songs off that album. Sounds pretty good, even though, again, I'm not a huge live album fan, but it sounded good enough that I probably would have got it if it was there, but it was gone. And I don't remember what else I wanted. I think that's about it. So I got there, and the Who album was the only thing that I really wanted that they had. They did have the David Bowie live album, and I might have got that, but they didn't have any on vinyl. They had one copy on CD, and I didn't want it on CD because, again, I do like Bowie, but I don't know what the quality of that concert is. So I didn't want to spend, and I don't remember what the CD cost. I just picked it up to look at the song listing. Had a lot of good songs on it, but I don't know. So I didn't go with that. And I did all of the Christy McCall B-sides, 45s and B-sides. I would have maybe gotten that, but they had no copies of that either. And she, if you don't know, is the They Don't Know About Us song, which everybody in America knows from the Tracy Ullman version, which is a great song. I like Tracy's version. But Christy McCall is the one who originally did that song, and I think she's the one who wrote it too, if I'm not mistaken. And her version's very good. And she also did a song with the Pogues, Fairy Tale in New York, which is a Christmas song, which is one of my favorite Christmas songs. And so past that, I don't know much about her. She's unfortunately died in a boating accident several years ago now. But supposed to be a good singer, and what I've heard of her is pretty good. So I might have got that just on a whim to check her out, because I'm really not that familiar with her. But yeah, that's it. I really didn't. The Kink Chronicles, which they didn't have either, I have no desire to buy that because I've got a copy. I'd go over and get it, but too lazy to get up and go get it. That I've had probably since 1980 or so. That's in perfect shape. Great album. One of the greatest hits or compilation albums ever. Up there was Essential, like the Red and Blue album, like Hot Rocks by the Rolling Stones. So I mean, if you don't have it, it's a great introduction to the Kinks, and a solid 10 out of 10 of an album. But I'm not going to spend money just to get it on red vinyl when I already have a copy that I still play and that's still in great shape and works just fine. And same thing with the Instant Karma. I did see quite a few of those there. I'm not going to pay $15 for a 45. This is just a repress of an old, I used to have that on 45. I used to have the picture sleeve, and I've got it on several of the John Lennon greatest hits or anthology or whatever albums that I have. So I haven't seen any need for it. I know they remixed it. I heard it's on YouTube. I listened to it. Sounds pretty good, I think. But I'm not going to spend $15 for that. And so that's it. And I don't know what's on the list next month. I guess it's not out yet, or in October for that matter. There's really, I think, the McCartney album, which I already have. So I'm not sure I'm going to buy another copy of that just because, and I don't remember too much else of what was on the big master list. It does kind of make me wonder if, since this being a crazy year, we didn't have the April record store day like we would have in a normal year. Are we going to have a Black Friday record store day, since we're already having 3 of them in a row? And are they just going to blow that off this year, or are we going to have 4 record store days in a row with a whole new list of stuff for Black Friday? I don't know, and I guess we'll see. But yeah, I am glad to finally have another copy of this, having not had it for 20 odd years. And I have good memories of the album. It's got some great fun, good Who songs on it. So I hope everybody else that participates got what they wanted and had a fun record store day. It doesn't seem to be as big of a thing on the VC anymore. I looked earlier today and I saw 3 videos. People's record store day pickups was Richard McCook and me and Mr. Mayo and one other person I forget now. And so yeah, doesn't seem to be as big of a deal this year, or actually the last couple of years. But hope everyone that went had fun, and that's that. Have fun. Take care.